You're looking for a way into the tech industry, but you don't know how to write a single line of code. That is a position thousands of people in this field were in just a few years ago. You open up a job board and are hit with an alphabet soup of titles, postings for IT risk, InfoSec, GRC, and IT audit. Because these roles all deal with technology and security, beginners naturally assume they are different names for the exact same job. They are not. Each of these titles represents a distinct function with different daily tasks. Understanding how these roles work together is the first step to finding where your current skills fit into a tech company. Think of a company's sensitive data, customer passwords, financial records, health information, as a kingdom's gold. It is kept in a vault, and it requires constant protection from outside threats trying to steal those valuable assets. If a bank trusted a single guard with a single key to protect its entire fortune, one mistake would lead to disaster. Protecting complex systems requires a highly structured, layered method. This diagram represents the corporate world's formal answer to that problem, a framework called the 3 lines model. By dividing everyone who works in security into 3 distinct lines, a company ensures that responsibilities never overlap. Everyone knows exactly what their job is, and chaos is kept out of the system. The bottom layer of our model consists of the Cybersecurity and InfoSec teams. These are the active guards standing directly on the castle walls. They do the heavy lifting of security. They configure the digital firewalls, they reset employee passwords, and they directly manage the systems that keep attackers out. This middle tier is for IT risk and GRC. These are the people who act as the rule makers and the risk trackers. Instead of fighting at the gate, they look at the big picture, deciding what the safety standards should be, and tracking which threats the company is willing to live with. Their main tool is a risk register, which is essentially a master map of all the company's vulnerabilities. They use this map to advise the guards on the first line about which threats to prioritize and what new rules to follow. The first line builds the defenses, and the second line advises them. Because both groups are involved in the day-to-day operations, neither team can objectively tell management if the defenses are actually working. A company's board of directors acts like the ruling king. They do not want to guess if the gold is safe. They demand objective proof that the guards are awake and the advisors gave good instructions. This brings us to the top of our diagram, the 3rd line of defense, known as IT audit. These are the independent inspectors, and they report directly to the board. IT auditors do not fight the attackers, and they do not write the security rules. Instead, they gather physical evidence to verify the rules were followed. If a rule says a door is locked at midnight, the auditor checks the digital logbook to verify the lock actually engaged every single night. To maintain their objectivity, auditors follow a strict rule called independence. An auditor is never allowed to design, build, or operate the very systems they are hired to test. By separating the people who build the security from the people who check the security, a company ensures no one is ever grading their own homework. This strict separation is the only way a business can genuinely trust that its data is safe. Because of the rule of independence, an auditor's job is to evaluate systems, not to build them. In this role, not knowing how to code actually makes it easier to remain objective. You aren't tempted to jump in and fix the things you are supposed to be checking. You don't need expensive software or programming knowledge. The everyday tools of an IT auditor are simple: spreadsheets to organize data, policy documents to read the rules, and a structured method for questions. This document is a prime example. It is called a PBC list, which stands for Prepared by Client. It is exactly what it looks like: an organized checklist auditors use to request the essential evidence they need to review. The 3 lines model gives us a clear way to categorize the people protecting a company's data. Security teams build and defend, risk teams watch and advise, and audit teams independently check the work. If you can read a policy, organize a spreadsheet, and follow the evidence, your analytical skills are exactly what the 3rd line